guys want to know what dark is, I know. You know what you do if you're up in the working place by yourself and your light goes out? Sit down right there, waiting for your partner to come back. Get comfortable. And if he don't come back, they'll probably send somebody looking for you if they don't in a long time. And not only that, if you're in the dark very long, you know what to do in the dark then. Lay down and go to sleep.
So you guys known about this place for a while then?
Like 20 years.
And you be coming out here how regularly, like kind of every week, or is it?
No, maybe every couple. No, maybe a couple times a year. That's about it.
And usually, how many people are out here paintballing and whatnot?
It used to be a long time ago, a lot, but not very many anymore. Most people just come out here shooting guns.
And what do you guys know about the history of the place? Not much?
No, not really. I mean, it's been here a long time. I know that.
Do you happen to know what this building was for? Any idea?
It was. I know at one time it had a top on it, just a cover. But no, I think it's real. It's old. You can see all the other stuff over here. So.
And how did you first hear about it?
We just drove out here years ago, and a lot of people used to play paintball out here, but I don't see people here very often anymore. I mean, I used to come here a couple times a month, but now we just every once in a while.
And who are you playing with today?
Oh, this is my son, and then my brother and his son.
Oh, cool. So it's a family.
Yeah. Yeah.
And usually when you come out here, it's just kind of a family thing, or do you end up?
No, pretty much. I used to come out there a lot of friends, but now it's pretty much just family thing.
Like right now, I just finished a new elk gun, so we've put in for elk tags that will be in November, and I'm trying to get this new gun sighted in out here. So,
Okay.
But as you can tell, there's a lot of people that use this area right here to sight in their weapons and just get comfortable with them and stuff. One of the things that I try to do is come out early in the morning when there aren't large groups of younger kids over in this area over here doing paintball stuff. Yeah. But there is some history to this area. I'm not completely familiar with it, but I think there was some mining going on out here, and that's what most of these structures are from.
Yeah.
From like 40 years ago or something. That is, and the big round structure has something to do with a smelter or something, I think, but really not that familiar with that stuff. You know, in the mining community, there were a lot of people staying in that hotel that you're talking about out here, and it used to be pretty crazy. I think there's an Arizona Highways magazine that has an article about it. I'm not totally familiar with it. Didn't Weldon tell us that there were a lot of people that stayed? That one structure that's still the farthest east of here was part of the hotel.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty weird to think about.
We used to live in Gleason. About 20 years ago, we moved over here. So we lived in the town of Gleason, right across from that bar. It used to be open, you know, and they had a rowdy time up there in the town of Gleason. Someone got killed in that bar, and they had a lot of history behind it. It's pretty run down, as you could see. When we first got here, though, some of those houses along the right-hand side of the road were they were dilapidated, but they were still reasonable houses. You know, now they're just pieces of wood sticking out of the foundation. We used to get our grandkids out and we'd take them up to the jail and we'd stick arrowheads in the lumber and the windows and the frames, and we put old dollar bills in the rock walls, and you ought to see those kids just going crazy, you know. Oh, look at this, there's $1 stuck in the wall. And we'd say, yeah, some prisoner must have put it there 100 years ago, you know. And they'd find the arrowheads, and they'd say, Indians must have been here shooting at the jail. Yeah. So we were liars, but it was fun, and it gave them a big charge, I think, you know. We felt a little guilty about pulling their leg, but we told them later, you know, and it made it all right.
Where does all the outside stuff come from? Was that just around the property?
Well, we started out with a metal detector, and Sandy and I just hunted the washes and the old country roads, and as the years went by, we ran out of stuff to find, so we started trading our neighbors. So most of this stuff comes from the ranchers around the area. We trade them our rattlesnake stuff that they give to their grandkids, and we get their junk from the barns, you know, that they didn't want. And for years, people wanted to buy the stuff, and we just said, no, we weren't interested in selling, so we kept accumulating, and this is the result of it after 25, 30 years, you know. It kind of got out of hand.
That's very cool. And how did you get into rattlesnakes?
Well, I always had a hobby of hunting snakes in Illinois, and then I went to college in Florida, and we used to hunt in the Everglades.
Oh, wow.
So it kind of, when I ended up leaving Florida and getting married, we decided to come out here, and we kind of turned my hobby into a way of making a living. These are the vertebrae, and these are the rattles made into earrings, and these are rabbit drops made into earrings. We saw that on TV one day. There was a girl, a model, that was modeling earrings made out of, I think it was antelope droppings. And we said, hey, we got jackrabbit drops out there. So we made a pair and sold them the next day. So ever since then, we've had those. And these are shark's teeth. So we got a lot of stuff that's kind of weird. These are fangs made into earrings. You see the little tiny fangs?
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't violate the...
So is it you or your wife that's really the crafts person doing all the...
Oh, both of us.
both
She
of you?
has a treadle sewing machine, so she does a lot of the sewing, and I do most of the gluing, and, you know, we kind of divide up the crafts. She does a lot of the jewelry, the necklaces, and, you know, I do the knife sheaths, and so it just kind of worked out that we both picked up on different things that we can do. Aren't many wives that would put up with this kind of life, you know? So I've been pretty lucky over the years.
I've been doing this since about 1993. I've been using goat's milk soap to make soaps and lotions and things. We bought this place back in 1997, I think, this property. Like, this is a little 100-year-old miner's house of some kind. There was a sink in here when we bought it, and a wood stove. And over here, this table and chairs were over here, and I just happened to be looking. I was going to throw this out, and then I saw this really cool thing that the miners repurposed the wood. That, like, this is a dynamite crate. So they took the wood, yeah, where the dynamite powder, cool. Yeah, and they made their furniture out of it because, of course, there's not a lot of trees out here, and so I have kept this because I think it's such an awesome thing. The home that we own up here belonged to Charles Renault, and he owned and operated the old store. He brought in redwood lumber for the mine to use, and yeah. Everything in the house is original. Nothing's been added to or taken away from the home. So this is the original kitchen and the original cabinetry of the house and all the wood. The house is very special that it still has all the original wood. Yeah. And this is Charles. This is the man who had the house built for he and his family. And he was quite the man about town. He owned kind of like a chain of grocery stores and things in the area. But we took all the paintings off, and this is what we ended up with. Pulled all the carpet and linoleum up, and we worked really hard here at the house to bring everything back to its natural state. It's called the Commonwealth Gold and Silver Company. They have come from Canada with investors' money, and they're digging and seeing if it's worth opening the mine again. Hopefully there's nothing that attracts them here because I just would hate anything to happen to the gold mine. Yeah, my kids really had a good time here too. They went in the mine, and it's very dangerous because there's mine shafts that go down, but you know, they went up and explored and had a good time. So this is what it's all. Our ghost town is all about the mine. They found gold there in 1880, and then everybody rushed here, built whatever they could. There were houses everywhere, little houses like this, and most of them have fallen down or have melted away because they didn't protect the adobe. But it was a pretty cool place. There's so little left, and when it's gone, it'll be gone. Mm-hmm. No one will remember. All the people will have died, and no one will remember anything. And we try and talk everybody that has a memory to write it down, because when they're gone, you know, the old timers come in that are 90 years old, told me the history of this little house. And so I try to encourage these people to write this down, even though they think it's not anything worth saving. That's the past. Those are stories.
It's definitely worth saving, yeah.
So, and we do have a Old Pierce Preservation Association here, and they were the ones that helped fence the jail. Mm-hmm. They're working on the old church, and you know, they help with the preservation.
Is the cemetery upkeep part of that also?
Yeah, have you been there?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
That's real neat.
It is, really. I love it there. I go there, and I just, you know, you just get in touch with those spirits that were here before.
I came from Kentucky.
Yeah.
Get out of the freezing rain and black ice. And I like it out here.
Yeah.
Climate kind of suits me. Yeah. This is my territory right around through the little mini town. I get people out into the show and encourage them to, as far as what we have available. Kind of, I like this as, I'm not the gunfighter, but this is my area. Each place does it differently.
Yeah.
And, we try to encourage hands-on, so they can actually have a hands-on experience. We don't pan for gold, pan for gems, minerals, and treasures. Had joined a association, another little club over in Sierra Vista. So I had actually gone out into the more or less wild, so to speak, and pan for real stuff.
Very cool.
Just found a couple of times, found a little minuscule flake. You don't find, you've got to really get after it to find the good, bigger nuggets, like, I mean, they're still out there. Have gone on several different outings that actually were outings where we were looking for gold. Mm-hmm. And if you participated in what they call a common dig, then they gave you like a number, and then you get to pick. They would give you a nice little vial and have a couple of little small pickers or something like that in it. And that's why I want to try to show the kids, this is how they do it here, or this is how they do it there. Mm-hmm. And and then I'll put the material in. Then I actually get them started with the hands-on, where they put a little water in it and actually do the panning. And then we do about 3 sessions like that. Water pan, water pan, water pan. Each time that they come out, then they start picking the stuff and like laying it on the ledge there. And as you can see, I mean, there's different mixtures. And I'm not maybe dressed as the Mad Miner because, like I said, this whole little area is my forte. Try to get them out on the golf course, or just explain what we have available for the town. We're the only actual little theme town in town. I'm standing here welcoming people to tell them, come on in, there's no charge just to look. And then having the cantina, having the cafe, kind of makes it a little... We make everything pretty convenient. So, I mean, like I said, I grew up and probably was a little cowboy that just never had grown up. And I really don't intend to. I've been Western all my life. Because it's comfortable, functional clothing, and then I have the period clothing if I want to dress in costume. But mostly it's just for the comfort.
Yeah.
The practicability, and I might come in like I'm dressed today, and they say, well, that's not period correct. Well, I'm not trying to be period correct because my job doesn't demand that. You know, I'm not out there like the gunfighters. They more have to be period correct. They're falling down in the dirt. I don't do that. You know, I'm too old to be rolling around playing in the dirt, and I got bad knees, so they would need a crane to get me up if I got that.
I'm 83 years old, and my name is America, just like
Really?
the country. So,
How long have you been in Tombstone?
I came here in '97 and came and went for a while. I came here for health reasons, and I'm the only one of my family here, so, you know. But I did do a lot of reading to get up on the historical part of the town, so that when I tell a story, that it's as accurate as possible. So that you know, you don't always have everything you need when you're kind of a newcomer.
So why do you think that Tombstone became kind of a historical place to go and not another town?
Well, because of the silver and because of the gunfight. The White Earp and the big gunfight at the OK Corral. See, we were down, the town was down to like maybe 150 people, maybe not even that many. We were a ghost town. After the mines closed and everybody moved out, we were a ghost town. Although the gunfight had already happened, when they made the movie, then they put it back on the map. See, the actual fight was on the main street, which was Fremont, which is now the 80 highway. And it's actually behind where they're holding the fights. There's a plaque on the wall back there that says this is the actual place where the gunfight took place. And that's on Fremont.
Okay.
Well, when they done the 125th anniversary, I had to work, but when they done the 125th anniversary, they took down the wall, they closed up the highway and brought in the horses and done the reenactment exactly where it was. But they're as close as they can get because they can't have the theater out there on the street. Whenever you got a historical town, you should have as much accuracy as possible, in my opinion. And it should be, you know, all of it. How it began, what it's created, and where it's come from. I have a lot of folks run in here with stories. Then I tell them exactly what I have discovered and that what the truth, as close as I can find it, was. See, these storytellers, the ones that tell you absolute stories, they know they're not true when they tell them. And I'm not really fond of that. If you got a historical town, why don't you keep it a historical town and do the best you can with the history? But they don't. They like to tell stories. Folks like to tell stories. This is the history of the town. literally.
Thank you.
If you read what's on the plaques, that really is the history of the town. And the girls that do this, they're as much as they get money to do it, they put up the plaques. So they got quite a few of them up, but there's still quite a few, I'm sure, to be established. This year says in the early that there was over 21,000, and they wasn't counting women and children. There you go. And when I give this out, I tell this is probably the most accurate information that I'll find anywhere in the town.
Good. Exactly what we need.
That's what you need.
All right. Well, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome. Because my name is America, and I am 83 years old. And both of my hips have been broken since I've been, well, the first one I broke in Hawaii, but the last one I broke a year and a half ago, November. And hey, food on the table, I'm here.